And there are certain technologies that might be really new to somebody, and you don't want to have to deploy something that then you have to explain to your customer why you've done it. Maybe over a decade ago, going to the airport, kiosks were relatively new for self-check-in. So they deployed an agent that would be there to check you in, teach you how to use it, all that type of stuff. Now everybody knows it. So maybe kiosks would be easy to do because people are familiar with that concept of touching the screen. But there might be something else that's new, like voice AI. They don't know to just start speaking. They're waiting for a prompt. They're waiting for something. They're waiting to engage a person just because they're used to that. So we need to have more visuals, more cues and clues of how this works.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Howard Company's Branding, Signage, and Technology podcast. My name is Brian. Today, I am joined by two guests who have been on the podcast before, Luke from our design team and Paul from our digital and installation team. Thank you for joining me.
You're so welcome.
So today I want to talk about tech that doesn't get in the way. So the reason why I thought about this episode is a lot of our previous episodes, we talk about features that, we encourage customers and prospects to implement, both from the design aspect, from the menu board best practices, but also new and upcoming technologies, kiosk, voice AI, OCS, POS integrations, and you might have some operators out there that, see all these features at once and they feel overwhelmed by everything. They feel like they have to do it all at once. And I just want to have a conversation about kind of what you should prioritize. If you did implement everything at once, why would that be a negative effect towards the customer experience? So let's just start by how should operators balance cool features, new technologies, and then implement it correctly?
Yeah. I guess kind of get it going. You definitely want to overwhelm the customer as much as possible. No. I think there definitely is a balance. I think there's coming from the art side of things, you want to have the customer, if you're talking drive-thru, go through in a very seamless manner, be able to know and navigate throughout the menu and not get overloaded with a wealth of information that they don't know what they're even looking for anymore. Because some people come into the drive-thru knowing exactly what they're looking for, and some people are looking for something new, and so sometimes you might get lost in too much technology, too much advertising, too much whatever. So you want to kind of cater to those people for the most part, I would say. But a lot of technology, I think Paul can probably get into more so, allows for, a simplification of that process, I think, in a lot of ways, and just a reassurance at the end of the day as to what you're going to be getting in that experience and then afterwards.
Yeah, I would agree that you don't want to do too much at once. You really want to figure out what's the business problem that you might be trying to solve to then select a technology that addresses that problem. You might have several problems, but take one at a time, kind of crawl, walk, run approach to the technology. And it shouldn't really ever be implemented just for technology's sake. There should be some sort of business problem they're trying to solve. In the QSR space, basically speed equals revenue for these operators. So if you're looking at a certain part of your business, what's going to either increase the speed so you can get more revenue, or what's going to drive the ticket price up to get more revenue, or what's going to increase the guest experience so you get that loyalty of that guest returning to, again, increase your revenue. So that's why you should really address the technology.
Yeah. So I think you kind of hit into it, but my follow-up question would be, how can too much tech affect the customer experience? And I'm mostly thinking in the negative way. And I think what you said, if you're implementing stuff that doesn't pertain to your goals and your issues you're currently having, then that's just going to continue to pile up on the customer.
Sure. And there are certain technologies that might be really new to somebody, and you don't want to have to deploy something that then you have to explain to your customer why you've done it. If you think back to maybe over a decade ago, going to the airport, kiosks were relatively new for self-check-in. So they deployed an agent that would be there to check you in, teach you how to use it, all that type of stuff. Now everybody knows it. So maybe kiosks would be easy to do because people are familiar with that concept of touching the screen, but there might be something else that's new, like voice AI.
Yeah.
They don't know to just start speaking. They're waiting for a prompt. They're waiting for something. They're waiting to engage a person just because they're used to that. So you need to have more visuals, more cues and clues of how this works, how to teach somebody without having to put a staff member out there all the time.
Yeah, right. I mean, we have in the QSR space, there's a lot of more old school customers, I think, that are, trying to just go about their day real quick and just be done and just get their food and move along. So if they're getting stuck up on something like that, or, even back in the day, like you said, like anything new with kiosks or, just something that takes you away from having a person-to-person interaction with somebody, whether that's in the drive-thru or even somewhere else, sometimes people just don't want that at all. They just want to be able to talk to somebody, figure out what they want to do, and get on with their day. Like it's a little bit of a, it leaves, I think, a little bit of a bad taste in some people's mouth if everything is completely automated.
Yeah.
Well, eventually, sometimes that's really efficient. I think sometimes just from a personal standpoint and what I've seen from other people, that doesn't really bode well sometimes.
Yeah. So, I mean, thinking about what you two kind of know best. So, again, going back to implementing correctly and maybe the steps showing it to the customer. So I think about OCS and voice AI the most. If a brand currently doesn't have order confirmation systems and they want to implement it, but at the same time, they also want to make it voice AI activated. Do you think that they should just start with OCS to show customers that feature and then in the future lead into voice AI instead of just jumping to both of those at once?
Yes, in some cases. Partially, it depends on the customer, meaning the restaurant operator, and their tolerance for some of the technologies. Voice AI is still not an inexpensive solution, although order confirmation kind of is. So your tolerance for what you want to invest to have the return on that investment might be a little bit easier with just order confirmation. Order confirmation also as a technology has a faster ROI to it. You basically are building trust in your brand because the guest that is there placing that order can see that all the modifiers that they asked for. If Luke wanted no pickles, it clearly will state no pickles, those types of things, which then translates to faster order because that also increases revenue because you get more cars through because you no longer have to have the employee read the order back, and that also leads to then less comps or remakes of food because you got it wrong. We're clearly communicating without having to change the guest experience as much, and you get that result of increasing throughput, increasing accuracy, and increasing the guest trust in your brand that you're going to get it right.
Yeah. And I'm glad that you remember I don't like pickles.
And there probably is also that training step too with the employees at the location of going from nothing to OCS with voice AI and having to make sure to read all that and how orders come through. And then from the design side, so if somebody has digital menu boards, but they're just listing out menu items, and we're telling them, hey, you should probably add some pictures, you should probably add some motion, day parting is kind of fun, effective, and then just throw it on all at once. Like, how would you actually implement that to your expertise?
Yeah, I mean, depending on the listing, if you have 40 plus items all trying to cram onto a menu, like I said before, it doesn't really help for legibility when you're trying to go through the drive-thru. In a digital space and then allowing for more technology and more so just capabilities within each digital screen and within our content management software, you can really get moving content around effectively, whether it's in the morning, in the PM, or at late night, day parting and everything like that really helps clean up that space, as well as just rotating content. I don't think you necessarily want to rotate mainstay at menu listings. Like if your main sellers are rotating with other things, and you're not going to be able to see it for half the time it's displayed on your screen. So that's not really a very advantageous way of going at it. But I think there's a lot of other ways to rotate promos and limited time offers and whatnot that you have obviously for a limited time, but that aren't going to be affecting your, your best-selling items and your highest margin items.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really affect your business, other than it's showing off more of what you can provide to a customer, I think, in different ways.
Yeah. So I would ask, with, again, if a customer is overwhelmed looking at all these different technologies and features, what they should prioritize. But it truly makes it sound like it's up to what their challenges are, what their goals are.
Yeah, they should take a look at their business and just really figure out where they're at in their own kind of business journey and what problems that they might have. If you are a brand new restaurant, you've just launched, you open, you might be more interested in trying to build your brand identity, and that might be by highlighting all your different options that you have for your mainstay items. If you're a well-established brand, everybody kind of knows those classic combos.
Yeah.
Now you're just really trying to emphasize the LTOs. If you are finding that the ordering is taking too long, it might not be anything technology related. It might be that you're making too many offers, you're giving too many choices, and it might be a strategy to just figure out, let's change the menu and see how that works. Does that increase the time?
Yeah.
And that's using technology, because digital lets you make a lot of those changes, see the results, to do some A/B testing, and basically see, will that increase my throughput, which therefore increases revenue.
Yeah.
I can still have all those options, but they'd be kind of like that hidden menu, or something that would be maybe your returning guests know that you offer it, but you might not display it, just to simplify and speed things up.
100%. Yeah, and I think with that too, it's more so like, what do you want to say? Having that content come in on the screen. If you want to have that, I guess, on the outside, on the inside, but not on the outside. If you want to keep that line constantly moving, you can't have all these, larger, what do you want to call it, servings, I guess, of your menu offerings, just to, slow down your entire line on the drive-thru when it's going to take them, 10, 15 minutes to produce it and make it. You want to keep that on the inside. And so if they figure that out, they have the digital screen, okay, never mind, sorry, we're going to take that off real quick. They don't have to go to a printer or us, whatever, to come and get that reprinted, and in a matter of, days, instead of, you can do it in a matter of seconds. So that's always nice.
And it could be other technologies that you find solve the speed problem. Instead of maybe order confirmation, it's really, how do we move cars and allow them to park as we run food out to them? And you might be analyzing your lot, and you need more things that are maybe camera-based, computer AI types of stuff, camera vision stuff, computer vision stuff. Basically to time, where are people going and moving around my property, to figure out where can I park cars, where can I get food to them. It's fast.
Yeah.
But have the perceived queue be shorter so you get more cars through.
Yeah.
Instead of having them drive off.
Can the two of you hit on the advantage of, it's a plug at us, but an advantage of working with our team? We do have a webinar coming up that we're about to start advertising, that, a big part of the conversation is going to be, with all these different technologies, features, whether people are starting to implement them or currently have them. They have POS, OCS, digital menu boards, music integration, all these different features in their one single unit, let alone across the entire country. How important is it for all those things to be working together, working with a group that knows how to integrate all those things and not have all these multiple vendors when you're trying to, move forward with all these great technology solutions?
Actually, this kind of comes into a project that I recently dealt with, of just really scoping out, how dealing with one brand or one company, the Howard Company, and keeping everything in one kind of net just allows for so much more ease of getting the product out to you, understanding the product, and evolving on that experience that you're looking to receive from drive-thrus, interiors, whatever, for your restaurant, your business. Just allowing for that communication to be, that line of communication to be seamless across all different departments of what you're trying to accomplish, really, instead of having to go talk to this person and then this person all across the country or wherever. you're crossing lines, and communication is just easily left to kind of flounder there, I would say.
Yeah.
People can miss out on things and not understand the full scope, but when there's one point of contact, or a couple within the same branch of people, I think it makes it a much easier line of communication.
Yeah.
Getting the job done.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of efficiencies that somebody can gain by having a reduced number of vendors to go to a vendor that could provide a single solution of a dashboard that lets you manage your digital content, manage your sound system, manage other parts of your business from a single or just even a handful of dashboards.
Yeah.
That single vendor might be able to offer multiple solutions to the point of not having to explain the story to everybody.
Yeah.
You gain some efficiencies there, and then at least those implementers that are providing that for you, they're all on the same page at least, because they're with multiple departments within a single organization
Yeah.
versus having to get all these separate vendors to be aligned.
Yeah. Nice. Well, thanks for joining me. I do have a fun question though to wrap it up. So it's a two-parter. So the first day of spring is coming up, even though it doesn't feel like it here in Wisconsin.
We tease this once in a while. It's like 60 and then drop back to 30.
Yeah. How would you rank the Four Seasons for you?
Oh. I'll let you go first.
I like the extremes. So I prefer, if it's going to be winter, let's snow and have a foot of snow, be able to enjoy it, be out in the kind of the beauty of it. And if it's going to be hot out in the summer, let's make it nice and toasty. Fall, again, the beauty of the leaves, not just the gray, but the colors are popping, and in spring all the flowers. Just like for each of those Four Seasons, that kind of week or two where it's just like the perfect
So you say
epitome of the season,
right. So you say winter, summer, fall, spring.
Those are probably my favorite in order wise. Yeah.
Really? You go winter first.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's a true Wisconsin.
Yeah, I respect it. I respect it. I don't mind the winter. I don't know if I put it at number one, but I'm 100% with you where I can't stand the in between where it's the bitter cold and nothing.
Yes.
I want that snowfall. I want to stick into the trees and make it nice and winter wonderland-esque, I think that's always nice. And, gosh, I'd probably put... summer I think is just, there's so much fun stuff going on.
Yeah.
I can't say no to that. But I'd say right after that is fall. I just love kind of that crisp sweater weather air, and everything. Get that kind of, I don't know, that vibe is nice. I like that, the crispy.
Flannel.
The flannel. I rock the flannel in fall. It's great. And then, I can't really say, because sometimes in the spring it gets a little bit too just like in between here, where it's just like
just wet. It
kind
just
of
rains a lot.
That's exactly it. It's just wet, and everything's melting, and then it kind of gets cold again, and it just makes me mad. So I'm gonna say,
but on that sunny day with the flowers popping, like that's the epitome of spring.
It's
I
great.
love that day.
But with that being said, I think it's gonna be summer, fall, winter, spring for me. I'm throwing spring at the bottom because I just can't stand it.
I would go fall, summer, and then winter and spring are kind of tied.
Yeah.
But so my follow-up question is, especially with St. Patrick's Day coming up, I love Irish soda bread. That's like the one of the seasonal foods, drinks that I look forward to.
Can you say that one more time?
Irish soda bread?
Irish soda bread?
You never heard of it?
Not in my life. No.
So
I was expecting green beer.
Yeah, right.
So, what is a seasonal food or drink that you look forward to that you could probably only have like a part of the year? So mine's Irish soda bread around St. Patrick's Day.
Huh. Beer's just kind of all around.
Is it a season or is it a spring season?
No, it could be any season.
Any season. I think it's got to be all the sides at Thanksgiving. Not the turkey. I could do without the bird.
Yeah.
But all the different sides, because you can only take that effort to make those special sides once a year.
That's great. I respect that. That's a good one. I think, oh man.
Well, he thinks, is mac and cheese a Thanksgiving dish? Or
Not in our family. Oh, that's actually not true. But yeah, that's not one of our classics
I think mine would probably be like a charcoal grill, like burger and hot dogs. Like if you're
Like a tailgate.
like a tailgate at the Brewer game, you got just a bunch of hot dogs on the grill, a little kickstand grill you got in the back of your truck or whatever, or some burgers, whatever, and just hanging out in the parking lot. It's pretty nice.
Just the smell too.
Yeah, 100%. That's really nice. So I like that. Awesome. And mac and cheese is 100% part of Thanksgiving.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me again. Another great conversation. Thank you for joining us and tuning in. Again, if you have any topics that you'd like to hear more about, feel free to let us know. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. But again, thank you, and we will see you in the next episode. Have a great day.
Thank you.